Hi guys! Today I thought I would introduce you to one of my finished Make It Own Pull-Up dolls. This is Lenore, and she was inspired by the Edgar Allan Poe poems Lenore and the Raven. And I thought I would do a little bit longer video this time and show you kind of step by step what I did to put Lenore together. But before we do that, I'm just going to quickly walk through the finished product here because I'm very proud of her. I just love this doll. So her hat and her dress, and I'd like for you to, the hat is one of my favorite parts. The hat and the dress were made by my mom. She has an Etsy shop. It's Etsy Silhouette, so I'm always plugging her because I get free clothes. But I wanted something in a black and white tone, so she made the hat, this gorgeous layered dress, and I just have to show you this because it's super cute. She also made underneath these adorable little underwear and also the socks. She made these little kind of velour tights. And then I got on eBay these fun boots. I know I've seen a couple of people. I wanted kind of a combat boot number. And then lastly, just as a prop, I also wanted to get her this miniature book. I wanted her to hold the Raven, the book. And what's fun about this little thing is it's an actual book. Like you can read it. If you were just, you could actually read it. Anyway, okay, good. I'm gonna get to it. So what we're gonna do now is I'll walk you through step by step how I put Lenore together, and I hope you enjoy, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks. Okay, after you have sprayed your faceplate with Mr. Super Clear and let it dry, you move on to Face Up. And what I'm going to be using for this, this faceplate, and you can see I've done half of the work already, is there's a couple of things involved. I use these colored pencils for like eyeliner and the eyebrows. And then I also use pastels, and that'll be for blush and lips and a little bit of eyeshadow. Just put those aside. You're gonna need a couple of paintbrushes, and depending how you want the look to come out, you might want a little bit of water. So what I've done is I've taken the pastels that I'm going to use, I'll just keep those here for now, and I'm going to start with the colored pencils. Okay, so once you've done the inside liner, you'll want to do the outside. And then once the eyeliner's done, you can see on this side I've added just some really tiny little lashes, and so I'll do that as well. Now my least favorite part, eyebrows. So what I've done, just to give myself a little less anxiety, is I've picked a color that's a little bit lighter than the eyeliner, and getting these to match is always a challenge. Okay, so I finished her eyebrows, her eyeliner, and I've given her some cheek color. So now I'm going to work on lips, and they're a little bit different. So I am going to use a pastel. I'm going to give her a red lip. That's going to be most of the color on her face. But instead of just brushing it on like I did with her cheeks, I'm going to use just a little bit of water to make the color a little darker. Let the lips dry, and then once the lips are dry, you're going to take the face and you're going to spray it with Mr. Super Clear. And the next thing I'll work on is the eyelid, which I think will be a nice contrast. And I'll show you one that's ready to be sprayed with Mr. Super Clear. So for this one, I used the blue pastel with a little bit of water to give it a darker, deeper color, and then there's this thin line for the eyeliner. Okay, while I'm waiting for my face and my eyelids to dry, I go ahead and get started with the eye chips because these kind of take forever to dry and there's a process to them. So the very first thing I do is I put inside the eye chips one tiny little white dot. And if you look at some of the pull-up dolls, they have these sparkly looking eyes, like they have these little sparkles, and I just add a little white dot to start. Now I have to wait for that tiny little white dot to dry before I can fill in the pupil. So now that they've been sprayed and finished and I'm happy with the look of them, I like to add a little varnish on the eyelids and also on the lips just to give it a little more of that shine. So I use Liquitex High Gloss Varnish. It's ridiculous how teeny tiny a bit of this you're going to need for this part. All right, so to do the next step in the eyes, right now it's just got that little white dot and you want to fill in the pupil. So you want to take very careful measures to just get the very inside painted. And do this with some pretty good light on you because when you turn it over, you'll see like that the outer ring isn't quite filled in. But the finished product, and I will finish this one in a second, but I'll show you what a finished one looks like. I did this one earlier. So this one is black in the pupil. I added a little bit of glitter, and then I added a brown paint around the edges. Okay, so now that the eyes are dry, how about we assemble this doll, right? It feels like it's been 12 steps, and I think it has. So here are my eye chips that are dry. And I was going to use them, but I was super excited because I've got in the mail from Sugar Lattice Doll Boutique these fantastic eye chips. And I'll put them down here so you can see. So what I've done is I've taken a little bit of glue and just dabbed the inside of the top and the bottom on both sides. And I set the chips in and I let them dry. And then the last thing you need to do before you can assemble is put on the eyelashes. So what you'll do here is on the back of the eyelash, there is a little bit of a groove inside the lash. And you'll take a little bit of water-based glue and you can use the lashes that come with the kit, which I thought were kind of sad. Or like me, I went to Daiso and am using these false lashes that I just clipped to fit into this groove. All right, so you'll need all your parts. And what I start with is the eye mechanism. Take the faceplate, turn it over. First thing you'll do is put in the eyelids, and there are two little grooves here to put that in. Make sure the spring is on the top. Do both sides. The lashes to go through. And then you're going to take the eye mechanism, and there are two little holes on top, one little hole in the bottom. You're going to put the side with the two holes up top, and they're going to line up here. And it should just kind of snap in. And you'll feel it if it doesn't work. And then you've got all these little screws. So you're going to take 3 screws, and you're going to screw one here, and then one here, and then one here. Okay, so once you have the 3 screws in, 1, 2, and 3, you're going to take the springs that were at the top of the eyelids and you're going to pull them forward and you're going to fasten them on this little thing right here. So I've done one already so you can see that. And I use my hands. Some people use special tools. There's always a couple of times where it pops back and forth. Some coordination involved. Yay, I got it. And this will help the eyes move up and down and blink. And now you're going to take the wink bars and you're going to put them in these little slots. I always do them backwards too, so you put them in that way. And then the next thing you'll do, I always forget this too, is to put the body into the little neck groove here. All right, so now that that's in, you're going to take the back of her head, you're going to line it up, line it up, and you're going to take the other 3 screws and you're going to put them in these holes here. All right, so that is your doll put together. And I always like to test to make sure that the eyes stay closed and that they move from side to side. So let's get her wig on and her outfit on, and she'll be ready for her close-up.